Hey there and welcome back. Today we're going to look at one of Reno's earliest and most historic neighborhoods, the Pownings Addition. This is one of Reno's earliest subdivisions. They called them additions back then. So let's take a look at what life was like before modern contractors and governmental regulations. Reno was laid out in 1868 by the Central Pacific Railroad as one of their stops on the Transcontinental Railroad. Reno started as 160 acres and was mostly home to working middle-class families. 20 years after the founding of Reno, a gentleman named Christopher Columbus Powning planned a new subdivision to be located here along the Truckee River and adjacent to the existing town. C.C. Pownings was very involved in early Reno, and among other things was the owner and the editor of the Nevada State Journal newspaper. Pownings purchased this 122-acre area in 1886 for $7,500. In 1888, he began advertising 250 lots for sale in his own newspaper and promoted key features of the area such as safety from fire, adequate sewerage, and soil susceptible to the highest state of cultivation. At this time in the world of home ownership, one would buy a lot and you would build a home on that lot. There weren't general overreaching governmental regulations, and there certainly weren't homeowners associations. So over time, the Pownings Addition became a glorious mishmash of different architectural styles. Over time, this area became home to a preponderance of Italian immigrant families, giving rise to the nickname for the area, Little Italy. So let's take a walk around and see some of the cool sights that are left to see today, in no particular order. These two fabulous homes were built in 1902 and probably by the same builder. They're examples of the Queen Anne style of architecture, and they both feature wraparound porches. These are two of the finest preserved historic homes in Reno. This former elementary school, called the McKinley Park School, was first opened in 1910. This school will probably be part of a future expose on this channel, so let's suffice to say for now that this mission-style building, which now serves as the city's Arts and Culture Center, is a stunningly beautiful work of art that is the centerpiece of the Pownings Addition. Paul Revere Williams of Los Angeles was the first African-American architect to be inducted into the American Institute of Architects in 1923. Most of his commissions were in Southern California, and he had many celebrity clients such as Frank Sinatra, Lucy and Desi Arnaz, Cary Grant, and Danny Thomas, earning him the nickname Architect to the Stars. This guy was a big deal. He even designed the theme building at LAX. Paul Revere Williams designed this building, the Loomis Manor Apartments, in 1939 for Anna Franzen Loomis. Mrs. Loomis helped pay for the building that became the Lear Theater. We'll visit that site shortly. This building has a horizontal motif and is an excellent example of Art Modern style. If you look through old postcards, you can see that there was a footbridge here 100 years ago. And it was here probably to allow school children to get across the Truckee River over to the McKinley Park School. You can still see the cement foundations of the long ago dismantled bridge just across from the school. This fantastic brick bungalow built in 1930 at 19 Winter Street is, in my humble opinion, the finest preserved craftsman home in Reno. And you can't change my mind. This home was built for the Giannacchio family, an Italian immigrant family, the family that founded the Reno Iron Works. And if you look closely, you can still see some of the ironwork from the old family business adorning the exterior. This home across the street at 18 Winter was built around 1907, and in the 1930s it was converted into a rooming house to attract divorcees during Reno's divorce heyday. I met the man who purchased this building while people still lived here, and it was his plan to convert it to its present-day use as offices. He said that the building was owned by 4 siblings, all of whom lived here. As each one passed away, and after the arrangements were taken care of, the remaining siblings simply closed the door to the departed's room. When the last one died, they found 4 bedrooms left as each of the siblings had left them. The building behind me is surely Reno's oldest existing gas station building, built around 1914. The man that restored it some years ago was awarded the Historic Preservation Award by the city. An early tributary of the Lincoln Highway used to pass right down First Street here. So this filling station surely catered to those early travelers on that historic route. Across the street from the old gas station at 96 and 98 Winter Street are two old brick buildings built by an Italian immigrant family, the Donderos. The bungalow was their residence, and the larger building was an income property set up to house Italian railroad workers. The Donderos also owned a famous saloon in downtown Reno back in the day, the Northerner. This office building on First Street is one of the only examples of modernist architecture in the addition. It was designed in 1964 by Hewitt Wells, who also designed the Washoe County Library building, which is an amazing example of modernist architecture. Go in there sometime and check that out. You know that old mansion at Emerald Bay, Lake Tahoe, Vikings home? Well, the lady that owned that owned this. Her name was Laura Knight, and she was a philanthropist from Southern California who had come to Reno to divorce her husband. She liked Reno so much that she hired local architect Frederick de Longchamp to design this home, which served double duty as a place to put up her guests before they made the journey up to Vikings home. Reno native Frederick de Longchamp became an architect without much formal training, yet he became one of Nevada's most prolific architects. He also designed the Washoe County Courthouse, the NCO Depot building on 4th Street, the Riverside Hotel, which is now the Riverside Artists Lofts, and the old Reno Post Office. This is the Lear Theater building, which started life as the first Church of Christ scientist in the 1930s and was designed by Paul Revere Williams. Before she passed, Moya Lear, the widow of Learjet founder Bill Lear, left a large amount of money to convert the building into a performance space. It has since changed hands several times, and hopefully one day it will be the fine arts center that she envisioned. There's also a new condominium structure going up in the middle of the Pownings district. I really don't get it. It doesn't really jive with the aesthetics of the neighborhood, but such is progress, and it is what it is. There were two magnificent old homes previously on this lot, and in 2007 I took these photos of them being relocated. This area is also home to other businesses, old homes here that have been converted into the Beaujolais Bistro, which is a fine French restaurant, Hub Coffee Roasters, Dorinda's Chocolates, and others. This is a fun area to hang out with for a lot of people. Take a walk through this historic neighborhood sometime. See if you can envision what it was like 135 years ago when horses and wagons moved along these streets. All right, well, that's the Pownings edition. I'm parched. That was grueling. You look like you're parched too. Let's go get a beer. All right, I've been meaning to try out this brewery. It's brand new. It's called Slieve Brewing, and it's located in this old firehouse. So you just raise the doors and you walk in and you check out the craft beer. So let's go take a look. Okay, here we are at Slieve Brewing in downtown Reno. As I read from their website, Slieve is Irish Gaelic for mountain. And this is one of the newest breweries, if not the newest brewery open to the public in Reno. I think they just opened their outdoor area last month. So we're one of the first takers. Today I'm enjoying what's called a New England IPA. As IPAs go, there's a West Coast and an East Coast IPA. You can tell this is a New England or East Coast because it's a little more hazy, and it doesn't have the hop bitterness that West Coast IPAs are known for. It's a little more tropical, and for most people, easier drinking. And I just wanted to be back to the Pounding edition real quick. Some smart people from the Historic Reno Preservation Society some years ago did a survey of that whole area, and they appealed to the city to make what's now called the Pownings Conservation District, which is really cool because it's not necessarily a hard and fast rule for the property owners. They can still do what they want with their properties. It doesn't have teeth in that respect. It's more for educational and historic preservation. Cool. I'm here at Slieve Brewing with...
Cheers. Philip Mountain.
Right on. And you're the owner, right?
Yep. Owner, wear many hats. Owner, brewer, janitor, you name it.
Everything, absolutely. Yeah. As I understand it, you started as a home brewer?
Correct.
How did you get to this point from being a home brewer?
Well, it's funny. I like to tell people it's a hobby that got out of control.
Yeah.
I was a home brewer for 12 or 13 years and decided, you know what? I did pretty well with my medals and competitions. So I'm like, let's give it a shot. So we decided to open up this place in October.
So you've been here since October?
Yep.
Awesome.
Correct.
And this facility used to be?
This was originally firehouse number 2 in the city. So it was active in the 1950s and 60s.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
So.
And what's the long-term prognosis for you? Where do you want to be? Where are you going with the brewery?
Well, I mean, we would like to go up to a larger system. We're a 1-barrel nano right now. We'd like to go to a 5-barrel system. And then basically just keep everything in-house. Just a little brew pub for the locals to come and hang out, you know.
Great.
Yeah.
What's your, as a home brewer or as a brewer period, what's your specialty?
Well, you know what? I like to brew all styles. I like to consider us the British Isles styles because we like doing Irish beers, British beers, Belgian beers, Scottish beers, so anything kind of in that region of the British Isles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. All right, I hope you've enjoyed our journey through the Pownings edition today in old historic Reno. If you haven't subscribed already, please click that little subscribe button and we'll get busy making more episodes for you about Reno, Reno's happenings, its history, and craft beer. So from Slieve Brewing in Reno, cheers.